This 11-story hotel is unlike anything Melbourne has ever seen. With an amazing rooftop bar and gathering space, incredible conference facilities, and of course, amazing guest rooms and suites like this one. So if you have friends and family coming to town for a visit, or want to go out and enjoy downtown Melbourne's great restaurants, bars, and shopping for a night or two, Hotel Melby is the place to be.
Good morning and welcome back to the 411 on the 321. Tales, tenets, and tips from Space Coast business leaders, brought to you by the Melbourne Regional Chamber. I'm your host, Mel Thomas, joining you this morning from the gorgeous Hotel Melby in downtown Melbourne. And I have a very, very special guest to introduce you all to this morning. Please welcome Elizabeth Miller, President and Head of School at Holy Trinity Episcopal.
Thank you so much, Mel. I'm thrilled to be here.
Good. I'm thrilled to talk to you. I'm thrilled to share your story, and I'm thrilled to share your new leadership and your vision for the school. So we're going to be right back with Elizabeth after a few words from our champion sponsor, Hedrick Brothers Construction. Since 1979, Hedrick Brothers Construction has been delivering quality construction for the commercial and luxury residential markets of South Florida. In 2020, Hedrick Brothers expanded into the Space Coast region and opened an office here in Melbourne. 3 years later, the team's grown to over a dozen professionals, working on large, local projects and investing in our community. The sky is not the limit for the Hedrick Brothers team. Check them out. You'll be glad you did. And welcome back. And welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. You're just mildly busy right now, so I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So let's start. I'm going to start with Holy Trinity first.
Sure.
So if anyone's unfamiliar with Holy Trinity and what your history here in Brevard and what you continue to do, could you kind of let our viewers know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Holy Trinity was founded 66 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
And it began on one campus, downtown Melbourne, right off Strawbridge Avenue. And then in the year 2000, under the leadership of Kathy Ford, who served for 27 years as the head of school, we opened our new Pineda campus, which serves boys and girls 7th through 12th grade. Mm-hmm. And the original campus still serves 3-year-olds through 6th grade.
And do you call the original lower school? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
We are one school with 2 campuses.
Okay.
So the lower school as well as the upper school.
Okay, perfect. Start here, go anywhere. That is your tagline. I love a really simple tagline that you can dive deep. Like it's deep. Talk about that. Talk about how you walk that walk with your students, what it means to start here and go anywhere.
Sure. The reality is it may sound as a tagline, but it really reflects our educational philosophy.
Okay.
Whether a student starts at age 3 or whether they join us in high school in 9th grade, each child's journey is different.
Yes.
Each classroom experience is differentiated based on that student's interests, who they may choose as a mentor, what activities, what sports. There's really a myriad of opportunities at Holy Trinity that I've been very impressed by.
Excellent. Well, let's speak about that. So all the different opportunities, obviously your philosophy when it comes to your students. What sets you apart, do you think, in your own words, here in Brevard?
They aren't my words. They're words of the Episcopal tradition, and we are an Episcopal school. It's mind, body, and spirit. And truly, that's what Holy Trinity holds itself to. And we're fortunate that our students share in a rich culture where they're not just performing so that they can get into a college. They're preparing for life, and they're finding new interests that they can cultivate and really excel while making lasting friendships.
I love that kind of holistic approach to the entire person, not just their education, but there's so much that goes into that and creating an adult, basically.
Most definitely. There are 970 students in our care, and we endeavor to know each child and to find out what might be the next step on their journey.
It's a big endeavor. All right, well, let's talk about that because you are not shy to big endeavors. You are fairly new to the Space Coast. How long have you been here?
I was contacted by a recruiter last November.
Okay.
That Dr. Kathy Cobb had decided to retire, and big shoes to fill. The humorous part in the story is that exact same recruiter called me 11 years ago and initially introduced me to Holy Trinity Episcopal Academy when Kathy Ford was retiring.
So you were already familiar with Holy Trinity?
11 years ago.
Wow.
And I desperately wanted to apply. I liked the school's configuration, its mission, the school culture. I was impressed by what the faculty was doing. The reality, the school has been a preeminent school in Florida and certainly here in Brevard County, an educational leader. I'm not shy, but a decade ago, I wasn't an experienced head of school, and I never applied. I have very few regrets in my life, Mel, but I often wonder, why didn't I apply? In any case, when that same recruiter with the same firm called me 11 years later, I pounced at the opportunity and was delighted when the board offered me the position.
And Elizabeth, I think sometimes life is funny, and you talk about it like maybe it was a regret, but how interesting that the universe and life brought it back to you again, even though it was 11, 12 years later.
I'm incredibly grateful. And I'm also thankful to the mentors I had along the way in that decade that helped me to become an experienced head of school.
I love it. Serendipity, indeed. So I'm wondering, how are you finding the Space Coast? You moved here from where?
Most recently, I was leading a school in Connecticut after having returned from Dubai in the Middle East.
Okay.
So we've lived
just a mild transition.
We've lived a number of places. People tried to warn me that it was hot here in Florida, and I said, it's not as warm as Dubai. The people are warm, but and my husband's a Florida native, so as he started to enjoy retirement, we wanted to be here in Florida, and beachside living, nothing's better.
There really isn't, right? Yeah, it's great. So I want to talk about the Ideas Institute. So it's a new facility coming to your campus, but I wonder if you can just walk us through the project itself and why it's important to the future of Holy Trinity.
I really credit the Board of Trustees for having this vision, and the vision was in place when I came to my first interview here. So I can take no credit for the building.
Well, you have to implement it, but yes.
But I believe with the momentum for this building that dirt will be flying within 12 months.
Wow.
I think the project will be completed in record time. I'm hopeful. But what is this project and why it's so important? It's about innovative, collaborative learning spaces for students.
Okay.
It'll be a 2-story building. Some people mistakenly refer to it as a STEM building. Yes, it is emphasizing mathematics classrooms, collaborative workspace, presentation space, your passion for broadcast journalism. I'll tell you, our broadcast journalism program will be housed there on the first floor.
Fun.
Counseling, because we all know that this generation is just struggling. They need more connectedness, and they need access to wellness and attention to mind, body, spirit, their whole health.
Oh, I can't wait.
So the Ideas Institute is truly an exciting building. If to visualize it, I would say look at what top-notch colleges, what their facilities look like. This type of facility is unprecedented in the K-12 space here in Brevard County.
Okay, interesting. And I love that you have some broadcast journalism mixed in there with STEM. For kids, that math was a little bit of struggle for some of us. I understand its importance, but I think, you can also mix in the arts and journalism, writing, English. It's a great holistic approach to education, and Bravo will be watching. And you have my personal invitation for any of your journalism students to want to come and sit on the couch, and we could definitely have them come in here.
Excellent.
Okay, wonderful. So I want to switch gears just a little bit. Holy Trinity has a very long history with the Melbourne Regional Chamber. Yes. Obviously, predates you, predates me. But I'm sure you're getting to know all of these great community partnerships that you've been working with. Can you speak on maybe where it came from, but where do you see that partnership moving forward?
Well, Holy Trinity is not just a school community, but we're citizens in the community. And when we're doing our job best, we're preparing future leaders, great citizens. And so when we look at that, we can't be one school with 2 campuses that are closed to the world. Our students are deeply engaged in the community, so are our 147 faculty and staff. So that's an important piece of who we are. So it's no surprise that the Chamber of Commerce for decades, that chamber leaders, active chamber members have chosen to send their sons and daughters to Holy Trinity. and we're grateful for that partnership.
I love it when I pull up to a chamber event, whether it's a small event or it could be one of their big signature events at the Hilton or in Jupiter, and all the Holy Trinity stickers that you see on the car. It's so much fun. So you're right. You have a really interesting background, Elizabeth, and we kind of just barely scratched the surface with Dubai. I wonder if you could tell us just a little bit about you and how you're bringing that to the kids here in Brevard.
Well, I can't say that we plan every twist and turn in our life.
Oh, it would be boring if we did. Yeah.
True. But I started my career in international business, focused on Asia. I had done my graduate work in East Asian studies, and I think that plays into that I really enjoy meeting people who have a variety of backgrounds and perspectives, because the reality is today we're not teaching children what to think. We're teaching them how to think.
Interesting.
And I believe my background and the twists and turns my own life has taken have helped me to appreciate that more than I would have perhaps earlier in my career.
And will you be prioritizing those understanding different cultures, different backgrounds, different philosophies, ways of thinking? Will you be incorporating that in your leadership at Holy Trinity?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Our commitment is to be a warm and welcoming community.
Nice.
We are unabashedly, proudly a Christian Episcopal school, but we welcome students from all different faith traditions and students who don't know what their faith-filled life might look like.
Right. I mean, that's education, right?
It is.
Perfect exposure. So we've talked about the history of Holy Trinity. We've talked about these proud traditions. We've talked about your partnership with the Chamber and other local community organizations and deep, deep roots. What are some of your goals as leading Holy Trinity into the future?
Well, I am poised to be able to answer that, thanks to our Board of Trustees. You see, at a great independent day school, the board sets a 5-year strategic plan. They write the plan, and then together with my leadership team, we bring that plan to life. So our plan goes from 2022 to 2027, includes such important aspects as the New Ideas Institute. And then from that, my goals flow from that strategic plan. So recently I shared a letter with all of our families that talked about my first 100 days, and then I turned around and shared the strategic plan and those goals with our community.
Okay, excellent. I love a little strategy with a little flexibility, because life is going to throw you a curve every once in a while. It's how you handle it, right?
I tell people the school that makes me most happy is the one that lives at the intersection of tradition and innovation.
Oh.
And I believe I've found that
think
at
you're
Holy
there.
Trinity Episcopal Academy.
I think you're there, yes.
And I'm grateful to be there.
Good. Well, we're grateful to have you here. I'm sure you have many, but if you could just pinpoint down to one, what's your favorite part of your job?
Oh, goodness. I think it's the moments that you get to witness a faculty member mentoring a young person.
Okay.
And they're unanticipated moments, and you see that gifted educator is shaping how a young person views themselves, their curiosity, finding a favorite book, trying out a sport that they hadn't considered. It's that type of being witness to that is a profound experience.
Yeah. I mean, if I could be so bold, it's almost a miracle, right? You're almost witnessing something that's it's palpative. You can see it, right?
And not every school can provide that. And so I'm thankful to our faculty and staff for their.
So I am going to ask a question, and this has been kind of a favorite question here on the 411 and the 321 ever since Michael Ayers, our CEO, submitted it. I'm going to ask it to you because I'm just so intrigued what your answer is going to be. But if I could just wave a magic wand and make you governor of Florida for the day, what would you focus on? What do you think your priorities would be?
Well, I think about when I'm in retirement 15, 20 years from now, I want to be able to go to the ballot box and have such a dazzling array of leaders to choose from.
Wow.
That I am tormented by which great leader to vote for. And I feel that our job in education is to provide society with that dazzling array of great servant leaders. So I have no desire to be governor for the day, but I sure as heck want to be part of the school that creates dazzling array of options for our community.
I have no doubt, and I'm with you. I look forward to the day where it's really hard for me to choose someone. Yeah.
Because there's so many great choices.
Yeah, what a great problem to have, right?
I do believe Holy Trinity Episcopal Academy is working in that direction.
I have no doubts
Thank you, Mel.
whatsoever. You're welcome. So last question, we ask it of everyone. In your dazzling career, in your experience, I'm sure you've heard many a proverb or a little word of wisdom, something's been passed down to you, you've read it somewhere that has resonated. It could have been in your professional career or in your personal life that you think our viewers at home might gain some benefit from hearing.
Well, just before Hurricane Ivan decimated our home on the Gulf Coast, where my husband grew up, the Sunday, I think it was just the Sunday before, our pastor said, "Don't let your possessions possess you." And at the time, I'm sure it was because there was a hurricane coming at
I'm
us,
thinking
right?
literally, yeah.
But I've relied on that over the years as well, because there are things that we can invest in that are intangible, like education, and don't get possessed by our possessions. Focus on the truly important aspects of our lives.
I think that's fantastic words of wisdom, not just in a hurricane when you're worried about, your personal possessions, but that people cannot be possessions, and don't think of them that way. And I love it. I love it.
Well,
simple and could mean a lot of different things.
I have Monsignor Hunt to thank for that. So
thank you, Monsignor Hunt. Yes. So thank you again so much, Elizabeth, for joining us this morning. For more information on Holy Trinity, can you share that website one more time?
Certainly. www.htacademy.org.
Thank you so much. For more information on Holy Trinity Academy or any of the Melbourne Regional Chamber partners, you can also access the partner directory on melbourneregionalchamber.com. I've been your host, Mel Thomas. I would like to thank the Hotel Melby for putting us up in a gorgeous suite this morning, Anthony Demalia with Tightline Productions for making this possible, and as always, thank you so much for the Melbourne Regional Chamber staff for making the 411 on the 321 a reality. We'll see you next time.